Hello and welcome to Post Popcorn Picks. Today we are going to be reviewing Terminator Dark Fate, and again, nobody else in the office decided to see this movie, so I'm going to be reviewing it by myself again. So Terminator Dark Fate pretty much just retcons all the other ones except T1 and T2. It kind of feels like every single Terminator film that comes out, they kind of just like, oh, this is like the continuation from T2. I guess now this one is the now official one that is the direct continuation of T2. A big problem that I have with this movie, and this is going to be a spoiler review, by the way. So a huge problem, and you're probably going to see a lot of people talk about this, is the first literally two scenes that you got shown. Arnold killing John Connor. When I initially saw that, I was a little bit upset, but at the same time, I was like, okay, maybe there's something more to this here. But the film really underdelivers in that aspect with making Danny this new John Connor figure, which is fine. But it just kind of felt like they didn't really need to kill the John Connor character. And there's also articles that specify that Tim Miller, the director of the film, kind of just shot that scene to have like a shock value to it, even though it didn't really incorporate anything valuable to the story. And that was one of my biggest gripes with this film, is that it just doesn't, I feel like it's doing things for the sake of doing them, but with no like meaning or context that adds to the story. It's just like, John Connor didn't need to die. You can still do this other John Connor character and storyline without even killing the character off. You just don't have Skynet matter. And that was another big thing, is that Skynet is no longer a thing. There's like this new thing called Legion or something that is pretty much the same thing as Skynet, except it's like an alternate universe version of like, now that they stopped Judgment Day from happening with the events of T2, now there's like this new thing and this new person they have to protect. It just kind of feels like they recycled the plot of T2, which can be fine, but it just kind of feels lazy when you just kill off the John Connor character and then just make this new character the same type of embodiment but a more bland version of it, and then call Skynet something different, and then add a Arnold-esque character to the film, and just kind of like follow that same formula in a way, but not really add anything new or unique to it. And that was one of the big things I had a problem with, which is like, it kind of makes it feel like the whole Terminator saga, legacy, lore, all of that just doesn't even matter, and that now there's this new thing, Legion, that is now the big baddie of this whole film. And it kind of just feels like they just didn't really care about the source material or the property of the film. And that's one of my biggest gripes. As a film in and of itself, let's say you're not that big of a Terminator fan, or you just don't really care about the lore or anything like that, I think you're going to have a better time with this, because you kind of accept things as they happen. Things are not that big of a deal. As like a throwaway popcorn flick, like the action scenes are really cool, and like I think all the characters did a really good job in their roles. And Arnold is back in this one again. And I think he does a really good job reprising his role as the Terminator. And I honestly really enjoy the film. I know I'm griping on it a lot, but those are just kind of like a lot of problems I had with the Terminator movie, just because like it kind of just throws away a lot of the lore. If you're a true Terminator fan, there's going to be a lot of things in this film that make you upset and that you won't agree with. If you're just kind of seeing this movie just to see like an action movie, then I definitely feel like you will enjoy it, because you're kind of just taking things as face value and not really like getting that upset because you don't really have that connection with the source material. With that being said, I mean, it's a good movie. If you watch it, I think it has good action, good characters. You're gonna enjoy it. If you're a fan of like T2 and just the Terminator Legacy and franchise, I think you can find enjoyment in this, but there's gonna be a lot of things you have a problem with. I would honestly prefer if they just like kind of made this film like a what if. That's kind of what it feels like to me, is just like a what if type of scenario. According to news outlets, this is actually canon, and this is part of like the Terminator continuation after T2. So I mean, that kind of upsets me. I really hope if they do another one that they, I don't know, honestly retcon this whole concept, because I'm just not really okay with like making this whole like everything in all the other films now doesn't matter if we're going on from here. It just didn't really feel natural. And then the Danny character, they don't really do that good job of like setting her up as like a John Connor, like a leader of the resistance type of character. And not only that, but it just kind of feels like a recycled concept with like the Liquid Terminator. And I really wish they could have did more with this, if they just focused on the script, creating a more unique story with it. Linda Hamilton did really good. I feel like it's hard to recommend this film. It depends on who's seen it and what their kind of feeling and experiences with the Terminator films. You just kind of watch the films and think, they're cool and all that, then I think you'll enjoy it. If you really care about the Terminator franchise, I think you're going to have a lot of problems with it. Overall, like at the end of the movie, I didn't really feel like I wanted to see a sequel. The trailers didn't really interest me that much, but after all the reviews and stuff came out, it honestly kind of made me more excited for it. If I had to give it a grade out of 5, I'd probably give it if you're a true fan of the Terminator series, it's honestly like a 1 out of 5. Right from the first scene of this film, you're just going to be out of it, and you're just not going to care, and you're just going to get more and more upset as it goes on and as they kind of tell you what's going on and spreading this new lore. And as just like a movie in and of itself, like if you just kind of like casually watch Terminator movies, think they're good, and you don't really care too much about like the franchise or the lore in and of itself, then I think it's more of like a 3.5 out of 5. I think it's a pretty good action movie. It has some really cool set pieces. This movie didn't leave me wanting to see another one. I just really hope that they kind of like take a step back. I just really hope they take a step back and just kind of figure out what can satisfy fans and newcomers coming into this Terminator franchise, because I feel like the way they're going, they just kind of like completely throw out all like the fans that people who care about Terminator. They just kind of threw all that away, and they kind of want to start this new thing. But it's also confusing, because if they really didn't care about the people who already love the franchise, then why would they bring Arnold back? Why would they bring Linda Hamilton back? I don't really know who this movie is for, because the people who are fans of the Terminator franchise are going to be upset for what they did, and the people who are coming into it, who don't really care about the Terminator franchise, they're not going to care to see Arnold or Linda Hamilton coming back. So I don't really know what they're really going for here. And I just really hope that they kind of figure it out. And I don't want to see the Terminator franchise die, because I'm a huge fan of it, and I really hope that they kind of figure things out. Like I said, I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5 on face value, but as a Terminator fan, it's honestly like a 1 out of 5 for me. I like Terminator Genesis better than this one, and a lot of people didn't like Terminator Genesis, but I mean, I think it's better. I think it has more fan value than this one does. So thank you all for watching this review. I don't know what film we're reviewing next week, but make sure to check out the Postpoint podcast. It comes out on Monday, and join us for that. And thank you all for watching.